Hello, this is Idi Amin, and I am here presenting myself and seeing what I'm able to communicate, what is presented in the moment. And it's interesting because how I would describe Earth life here on Earth is like a story. And you become the story written before you are born, and you live that story, and you have all your other characters in the story, and each one has a book, and a storybook. That is your life, that is who you are, that is who you become. And then of course you have all the other characters in your storybook, which is the people in your world. And you have an event that takes place, and you have all that is in your life and what you experience. And the storybook has an end, as all storybooks has an end. You begin reading it all the way through all the pages, and then it ends. Then you put the book down. And then the book becomes a memory. Because you've read it, you remember it, and it is now done. Though while you are reading the book from the beginning, that is when you live the book, that is when you experience the book. That is when you're here in the moment. It is who you are when you're reading the storybook. And that is what my life was like. I would say you're on Earth, and that is what each human being's life is. You start reading the book. While you're reading the book, you are the book, you live the book, and you experience the book, the storybook. You live the story, you experience the story, you are the story, you become the story. As you page through the pages of the book, which would be the turning of the page of each new day. But then death comes, which is the end of that storybook. And the storybook remains where? Here on Earth. But you, as that storybook, you as the experience of it, you living that storybook ends. Because you closed it, it is done. And then you die and you cross over. So it is like the following. Here on Earth, when you cross over, when that book ends, when you close that book, it's finished. And you move on, possibly to a next storybook. I see this world and I see the dimensional existence as everyone living storybooks. And you have your characters in that storybook. And all storybooks are different in experience, and are different in living, and are different in applying them. But I remain. Whether the storybook begins, ends, whether I go to the following storybook which begins and ends, I remain. And my life here on Earth, that's what I would place it as in a category, was a storybook experience. I walked in from the beginning as the storybook, as the experience. I flipped through the pages as every day of my life. I got to the end. I'm done with that storybook. I placed it behind me. And now I open myself up to a new storybook in the beginning, which is now my dimensional experience. And you're probably wondering, but there isn't supposed to be an end. There is always an end. But who we are does not have an end or have a beginning. But at the moment, we require everyone to first understand who they are. And if it requires them to first live and experience and becomes many storybooks, to first understand themselves, then so be it. But we see the people in their storybooks, their characters, what they're living, what they're experiencing. And so we will show them. Although they're in the storybook, we know there is an end, inevitably. Whether they realize it in the middle of the storybook or even way at the end. So, you have to have beings stop believing that they are these storybooks. You're not. Just as I realized my life on earth was a storybook and I'm not that storybook. And that realization is when you come to an end. And the beginning. That's when life is born, when you are born. When you do not require a storybook to experience yourself. Thank you very much. This is Idi Amin.